What is the current mood then with Nuno and just Forest, the third consecutive season in the top flight? You're hoping for an improvement. Obviously, you won't be making those many signings you did a couple of seasons ago, but yeah, Nuno's first full season in charge.
He needs the summer. For me, the most important transfer window is the summer one, in terms of building the foundations for a season. But in some respects, the winter one is, because the winter one is the one that can kind of, if you need a striker, for example, I always think of the winter window because it's that part of the season where it's like, right, make or break. You're going to go all out for someone. We went all out for Chris Wood, didn't work out. But then last season it ended up being a fantastic transfer. So Nuno needs that full pre-season. He needs that full summer transfer window, not to understand his players because I think he knows them, but to fully implement his ideas, to build a stronger bond in the squad, and to introduce the new players, which every manager needs. But Nuno came in at a really difficult time, and I commend him for it, because you're not going to get the best out of him as a manager by putting him in that situation, I don't think. And when he inherited Wolves, he inherited a side with potential that weren't necessarily in that similar position. When he inherited Forest were in a state of basically disillusion. They were in a state of, just complete behind the scenes, just complete disaster, essentially financially, with the financial fair play situation. So for him to come in, handle it as well as he did, and to keep us in the Premier League, albeit by fine margins in some respect to points, it is so commendable. So everybody's got to back him. I don't think that's even a question really. The feeling amongst the fans, at least from what I'm seeing, is that they're very optimistic and they're very positive. The signings that we're making and the signing we're about to announce later today, at the time of recording, is really exciting. Nikola Milenkovic, new centre-back, which we both know. We both signed exciting centre-backs. So, just the feeling is good. We're looking ambitious, but we're looking very sensible in the window. But being a Premier League football team is so much more about just buying players and selling players. It's about the structural additions, bringing in new staff, who's managing your club, who's running the finances, because you'll see now that even us signing the great players that we've signed in the past, it doesn't always necessarily mean you're going to get out of that relegation area. And there's other factors that can really affect your season. So, but yes, Ipswich looks very sensibly run. So I think you should be okay. But from a Forest perspective, feeling's good. And I think we're all ready for a new season.
How do you reckon Town will do? Can they stay up? Last year we saw 3 teams go up and they went straight back down. Obviously, every season's a bit different. Do you think Ipswich can stay up?
It's going to be really tough. I'll be honest. It's going to be really tough. I do want to give you guys, I think, because I do rate a lot of the signings that you're making, because you are investing. And it's no disrespect to Luton, but I don't think that Luton invested enough. And they brought in some good players, absolutely. They're a good manager and everything was going well, but they needed better signings to kind of keep them in the league. And they weren't far off as well, which feels to me as though they missed that potential. I think that the Town have made really good signings, but I still think they need a little bit more depth-wise. The Premier League, if you get Jacob Greaves injured, for example, you're back to square one in that respect, in that position, not having someone of his quality. So I do think you need a couple more signings. I mean, no doubt you will make it. And I like what's going on there. I like Kieran McKenna a lot. I sat in doing work experience when Ipswich played Hull, I think, earlier in the season, and just the most amazing game. I watched it with Matt Holland as well, who, of course, has his affiliation. And we were talking about it, and he really kind of got me to enjoy Ipswich Town and what they're about. So, do you know what? I'm going to go for 17th. I think it's going to be skin of the teeth sort of stuff. And I think that you'll stay up. And I do think it'll be a bit of a shock who goes down. I think that Brentford might struggle a bit this year, but they've not made many signings. So I don't know. But yeah, I'll say Town 17th.